Are we live? Is it finally working? Now, YouTube says I have an error, which is concerning. So let me know. It says stream status is poor, but finally OBS is working for me today. So I don't know what's happening really. It says 0% for dropped frames. Well, hopefully it looks okay for you. I mean, we're just drawing, so I'm just coloring. Today I'm going to be coloring this artwork here, which, yes, this is in fact the drawing that I did for the very last day of, what's it called? Mermay. Remember Mermay? Good times. This was the drawing that I did on that day, and I never finished it because if you'll recall, that stream is still up on my channel. So if you missed it, you can go watch it. But if you were there, you'll recall that this stream was 5 hours long. And this is all I got done was this drawing. Now, all I got done, I mean, this was a pretty big feat for me. There's a lot to this thing. I mean, let's look at it a little bit more, right? So Ariel's, and there was even more to this than that I planned but never ended up finishing. So that's part of, why we're here today. But so we've got this bathroom scene, and Ariel's in the bathtub, but then I have like these shelves that have a bunch of stuff on them, and I've got this cabinet with toothbrush, toothpaste, soap dispenser, the cup thing. We've got the towel, we've got the toilet, we've got the toilet paper, we've got some I'm pretty pleased with these plants. We've got some nice looking plants over here. We've got the Shell radio. We've got a window that's, I guess, a little bit open. Curtain, the whole bathtub stuff itself, and some rugs. So this was a lot. I mean, I feel like this is the most I've ever put into one drawing, the most number of objects I've ever put into one drawing. So yeah, it definitely took me a long time. So this is as far as we got in that stream, and then I planned to do another stream where I colored it in. And there was a second drawing with some animation that I originally wanted to do. I don't think we'll get to that today, but it's maybe potentially in the future. Or that might just have to stay as some unknown lore for this drawing. But what I'd like to do today, at least, is did I really draw all of this on one layer? Wow. It's very different from how I would do it right now. I don't know. Some other drawings I've done, I started to just keep everything kind of separate and use masks for like where it overlaps and stuff. But that's not really important. What I would like to do is start coloring. I don't have my swatches for Ariel. Or do I? What's this layer? My text up here? Signature. That's what we call that. Signature. Okay. Where to start? I feel like I want to start with the walls. So I'm going to say walls, color. Now, the other thing too is that I have a bunch of brushes, which I didn't have before. So maybe I can mess around with some of those and do some cool, like there's all these like watercolor brushes. I don't know. What color should the wall be? A nice blue. That's black. I didn't change the color. Like this color. See, and I can get some cool texture. I don't know. The thing is like at this point, I thought this would be fun to color in, but I'm not like super invested in this drawing anymore. because I worked on it so long ago. So I feel like I can just kind of like do whatever and see if something looks good. Then maybe keep it that way. Maybe I can do a darker blue for the floor. Does that look too... No, that'll be good. Floor color. But maybe I'll find a different brush. I'm never going to remember which brushes I've used for these. No, I don't like that one. Not for this. This is the fun part of drawing, is finding out which brush you want to use. Maybe this one could be cool. So I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Let's take off the wall color real quick. I think if I just put down one layer and then layer it again, I think this will be kind of the look I'm going for. That's not really gonna work. I'm just gonna do that until, oh no, does it work that way? Let me just scale this a little bit. No, that's exactly the wrong buttons. I've been working in not Illustrator. Good Lord. I've been working a lot in After Effects lately, so my keyboard shortcut brain is in After Effects mode. Okay, let's do two things, which is masking the colors. It's only one thing that I'm going to do, but it's two things because it's two layers that I'm doing it to. So, you want this, I almost kind of like the overflow that it has, but at the same time, I don't think that's going to be helpful for me. Because it's like nothing else is gonna do that, or I can't like change the way it looks really, so I think I might just I'll probably mask those out too. Hopefully, yeah, I hope the stream is working okay. Oh, as soon as I said that, now the thing says that my stream is healthy. So that's good. As soon as I was worrying about it again, it decided to work well. Perfect. Okay. Now I don't really know, see on this side, I don't really know where the wall is. So I'm just gonna mask this out. And the reason why I like to mask it instead of just erasing is that way if I decide, oh no, I did too much, then I can just flip my color and redraw where that needs to be. And I don't have to worry about sneezing. No, I don't have to worry about drawing over, because you saw like this is a textured brush. So each time that you draw something, it changes. And like with this floor color, I don't know if it was the brush type itself. The brush that I currently have on is an inker brush. And this one by default is set the blend mode is set to multiply. I switched it over to normal, but usually it's multiply. So I don't know, maybe this watercolor brush that I used had that. Let me check. Yes, multiply. So if you have a brush that's set to multiply, when you layer it over, it's going to get darker. That's what happened with the floor. So that if I am trying to, and you'll see that kind of messed some things up down here, but it's okay because I think everything else I'm going to use like a solid color for, and probably not the fancy watercolor brushes. But if I accidentally erased too much and didn't notice it in time, that's the key. If I didn't notice it in time, then if I wanted to go back over it, it would probably affect too much of what's happening around it. So that's why I like to just use the mask layer instead, or the mask on the layer, because then it's so much easier to undo any mistakes. And then, yeah, I'm just gonna, so then there's this as well, where it's like, I think I'm just going to get rid of the edges that are here. Even though I like the look of it, maybe I can do something else to add that later on across the whole thing. Because I like the idea of it kind of bleeding out into the background behind it. Like this room is sort of bleeding out into the empty void in which it exists. But I don't know how well it would look overall in the end. So I'm just going to mask it out for right now. And then later if I decide, oh, well, maybe I do want it back, then I just gotta draw a bunch of black over it. Right? No, white. Draw a bunch of white over it. I feel like that I've learned so much. Well, not did I learn so much? I don't know. I feel like I've just changed a lot in how I draw things and the tools that I use and stuff like that. I feel like I've just gone through so much with drawing since I did Mermaid. And that was in part because of Mermaid. And because I had to make a drawing every day. And then in July, I did the Parachutes 20 challenge, where I was also pretty much every day I was drawing. There were a couple of days, well, even then one day I made an animation, but I did do some hand-drawn stuff for that one. I made another animation where I really didn't do that much hand-drawn, so that one. And then there was one day where I had to miss it. And so what I ended up doing, oh man, look at this corner right here. That sucks. What I ended up doing was, what did I end up doing? Oh, I just did like 2 drawings in one day for that. So, you know, it was fine. Why did YouTube send me an email to let me know my video's gone live? I know. I'm aware. I pressed the live button. Alright. Alright, we are coloring. I mean, the bottom of this also kind of like looks a little, it's okay. It's all good. Okay, so now I've just done the edge. So now I can do this really easily. And then just delete. And when I delete, I have to set the black as the background color, because it doesn't actually, with the mask layer, it doesn't, there's nothing to delete. What it ends up doing is filling in with the background color. So that's why I switch it to black, because black is alpha. So transparent, it means that whatever is in black, whatever's on the layer underneath where it's black on the mask will be masked out. And everything else, all the parts where it's white, is what shows through. So I might even go to my paint bucket tool and just, you can see, maybe you can see in the mask itself that when you create a mask, it's usually white. Although I think maybe if you have, I don't know, maybe if you, let me check. Maybe if you have black as the background, it will create it black. No, I think it usually does white. Okay. I think that is what it normally does. I may as well leave that mask on because I'm going to do that layer next. So what I can do, since I only want it to appear in here, I can just color the outside of this as well and see if that happens. Oh, wait. I had it set to white. Okay. Just so that if I, in drawing more stuff, if I went out, I mean, that doesn't really matter because this layer's done. But anyway, that's just me doing all the unnecessary things. This I'm definitely going to cut the edges out. Because I like the way that first brush looked, coming like sort of splattering outside of the edge of the room. But I don't like this one, the way it looks. This can be kind of tough too when you have a color that's too close to the value of whatever the thing is that you're trying to like kind of bump up against. So this blue is like so dark that it's hard to see, but that's another reason that using the mask is so great. So when I do something like that and I accidentally go over too far, I mean, I could undo it and redo it, but sometimes I just like to flip the color. And just neaten it up a little bit. I could also just use the lasso tool to kind of lasso. Actually, what the hell am I thinking? I have this line art layer that's closed. So I can just select all the line art and then I'm going to maybe expand it. 2 pixels might be too much. And then I can just do what I did before and color this in. Easy peasy. How does it look with there? Yeah, that's not great. So I might just undo the whole mask basically. Okay, let's select this. So I just use my magic wand tool and then I'm gonna go to select, expand again, but I'm just gonna change it to 1 pixel because my line here is not thick enough for 2 pixels to work. So now I'll color the outside black and that should be done. And there shouldn't be any color on the edges. Oh my god, why didn't I think of that sooner? Then the other thing is that I have this line here. I mean, none of this, yeah, actually none of that's gonna matter because all of this stuff is going to be colored in solid on top of both the floor and the wall. So you're not going to see any of that. But over here I need to worry about because as you can see, like right here, you're seeing the wall color or the floor color under the wall color. So kind of what I think I need to do is grab the mask for this. Can I grab the mask? No. Okay, well, I'll just have to be very careful with this one. So, okay, so I'm on the So, see how much of a difference that makes? But I gotta make sure. I mean, again, this part doesn't matter. The tub doesn't matter because that's getting colored in. But the wall here does matter. I want to make sure this isn't showing up. Oh no. But see, the problem is that because I've already done the wall, and I didn't really, this would be the perfect place to do like the lasso tool. The reason why I like drawing this out instead of using the lasso tools, I feel like I can often be more precise with it if I need to like get into smaller areas. And because I kind of, with the lasso tool, I kind of just draw it out anyway. With this, at least I can kind of, as I'm going, I can apply more or less pressure to see how that changes the line and how much of this gets masked or not. But yeah, that's fine. We'll leave that. But yeah, so if you look right now, it's just kind of like wherever I draw, that's what's getting stuck into the lasso. It's really like I wouldn't want to color out the whole thing. I mean, depending on how big the area is and how big I can get my brush, because sometimes, so like this right here, I can just make my brush bigger and then make sure that I'm on the right color and then just do like that and it's fine. I'm gonna bring that back, even though it's not, doesn't matter. I don't like seeing the white. Well, I think that looks pretty good so far. Let's move on to the next thing. What's the next thing? I feel like I should get into something that's bigger over here. Like maybe we can start from the bottom and work our way up. Maybe like the bathtub. I probably should get my swatches for Ariel, but the problem is that I don't have any of the other files saved. I already had to drag this file over from my hard drive because I took off the mermaid files so long ago. Maybe we can just, well, maybe I can just get a screenshot of Ariel and pull the colors from that. I might do the bathtub, and I'm thinking to do like a pale yellow kind of color. You know? I love me these, this kind of color scheme. So we're gonna go like maybe yellow orangey. The nice thing too is that I can very easily, I'll just show you with the wall, I'm gonna keep this color, but I can very easily come in and do, say, like the hue saturation. So if I didn't like this and I wanted it to be a little bit more blue and a little uglier, or I guess gray, isn't this incredible how this gray, I think because of the I have so much blue down here. It's such a saturated blue, even though it's dark, that it's like affecting the way the gray looks. So even with more saturation, like this looks like a much cooler gray than this. Looks like red to me. This looks like reddish brown, but it's not. It's fully desaturated. So it's just because of how vibrant the blue is on the floor that it looks warmer, even though it has no saturation to it. So it's just a gray value. But anyway, bathtub. So I can get a nice color here. Like that's maybe a little too on the orange side. Maybe something like this. And I can just start to like lay the color down. I'll just use this brush. I can start to lay the color down, which I might take the floor out so I can see the lines better. Can start to put the color down, and I would do the same thing with this as I did when I was masking out the other layer. I could also Oops. Sometimes I get confused and switch my brushes because I just masked a bunch of things when actually what I meant to do was get the eraser tool. I could do the exact same process as I just did with the walls and the floor, where I just color it as a blob and then go in and fix it, but I like to do that when it's huge areas. But if there's something with a little more detail, then I don't really mind to go in and kind of color it in more solidly like this. And then as long as I can connect these pieces that I do so there's no gaps, then I can just select the inside of it and do my expand on the selection again, and then just paint bucket it in from there. The reason why you do expand is because otherwise it leaves behind like that little bit of white space that we saw when I did that with the floor. Also, I think there's I hate when I'm coloring and then I realize that there's like some little pixels left in the line art that I meant to erase, or probably tried to erase at one point and just didn't fully clean it up. Okay, so see, I have the outline here. Now this mess, it's fine. But I just take my magic wand tool and select the inside. So everything's closed, so it doesn't select all this stuff out here. So select that and then go modify, expand. I'm going to put this back to 2 pixels. And then I just grab my paint bucket tool and I tap it twice, because once we'll leave that edge there. So if you do it twice, it'll fill it. And the reason why you want to use the selection tool instead of just filling it in this way is because if you fill it in that way, the outer edges mess up and you don't get the nice texture from the brush anymore. It like kind of undoes that. So, I mean, that doesn't look bad. Like I said, I might change the color later, but I feel like for now it's okay. And in addition to being able to like do hue saturation on the individual colors because I keep them on separate layers, I can also at the end add like a color balance and just tweak the whole thing. The whole drawing to make everything look a little more cohesive, maybe. Okay, let's look at it all together. I think that's working. I feel like the toilet should be purple, like this kind of dark desaturated purple. You might also realize, maybe, I mean, I feel like I'm realizing toilet that, so I've been doing these little slice of life animations. I'm working on a short basically, so I'm coming up with different scenes, and one of them is the courtyard scene that I created, which was like the first drawing that I did after Mermaid. And then I've just been like drawing random things. So the first thing that I did, of course, was a bathroom. And I was like, I kind of like the way this looks. What if I like make an animation out of it? What if I use this as a background? And then I thought, well, maybe I can take the courtyard thing too and use that as a background, and then have like a few more different sets with different characters in each one and just put that all together. So like kind of the idea would be like it's different rooms of this place, and then there's the courtyard as well, and just have the different characters kind of like, I mean, kind of in their environments. The first one is the bathroom, so that's not really the same, but you know, So did the bathroom. I'm working on a kitchen right now. If you want to see my progress on that, you can go to my Patreon. It's in the description, but it's also patreon.com/Kerobo Animation. That's KEROBO animation. So you can support me over there to get all the updates on that. But I think if you look at it, I think if you look at most of the, sorry about the sirens if they're really loud. I think if you look at most of the art that I do, you'll see a lot of this color scheme showing up. It's just because I like it a lot. It pleases my eye. You know, I think one thing that maybe people don't consider, I see a lot when artists do any kind of like Q&A sessions and stuff like that, that a lot of people are wondering, how do I figure out what my art style is? What is this called? Shelves. How do I figure out what my art style is? And I think that one thing that can get, what the heck? Thanks, Windows. It's because I have this thing up that it's trying to make me use the on-screen keyboard, but I don't want to. I have my own keyboard right here. No, leave me alone. You're just gonna mess up my window. So I feel like color is one thing that gets ignored maybe by a lot of people when they're trying to think about what's my style. And a lot of the times what you think of as your style has to do with the way that you draw something. And, you know, like, is it a more cartoony style? Is it more realistic? Do you have a lot of terribly drawn lines like I do in mine? Or is everything really neat? Does it look more like technical drawing? Like that kind of thing? I feel like people focus on that a lot and then don't even consider how like color palettes play into it, because the colors that I use in my animations are absolutely part of my style overall. I think I'm gonna have to change this color because it's not gonna work well with the floor. Or maybe I'll have to change the floor. But I like the floor because it gives it the like ocean feel, you know? But yeah, definitely the kinds of colors that I use, it's not even always the exact same palette, but it's just kind of in the same vein, or either using the same or similar hues, or I really like to have certain things kind of, I don't know, like this purple over here. It's like it's not quite pastel. It has some vibrancy to it, but it's also still muted. So I don't really know how to describe it. But I like having those kinds of colors, you know, that kind of color palette. And so if it's something that I'm doing for myself and not working on for someone else, then I'm probably going to gravitate toward that. Do I like this purple? No, I don't think so. This is what I'm talking about. I can just very easily change the color. Maybe I should do more of a green. No. Maybe I'll do hot pink. There you go. So like a little dark, a little desaturated, but not too desaturated. Still more saturated than not. If I do like an orange color, I might just do, yeah, let's just say colorize. Colorize me. Because it's like, what's gonna go with the floor? I don't want to just have everything be orange or purple or like pinkish purple. Geez. What if I just do it white? Or maybe like a slightly off-white. I guess it will end up being kind of yellowy. I mean, maybe that's okay to kind of balance the two sides. And I can have the shower curtain be similar to this. Well, you know what? I'll leave it for now. The other thing that's nice too is if you lock the alpha on the layer, then you can just draw right over it too. So if I find a color that I like in here and I know what the hex code is and I like have it here, instead of having to try to match up the hue saturation to this, I just draw over it. I guess you can probably get the hue saturation to be exact if you're doing colorize, because then it's probably just the same values. Or is it? No, because that's like plus or minus. So that doesn't really work. Can also color on top of it and do alpha. Whoops. Well, I didn't make a new layer. You can make a new layer, color on top of it, do a clip mask, and then merge the clip mask. It works the same as doing the alpha. Anyway. Maybe I do need green instead of the purple. No. 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 Do I? Maybe I should work on Ariel. Oh, brother. I don't know. There's too much stuff in here, you know? There's too much stuff. I'm never gonna finish this drawing. What if I were, I mean, okay, I have an idea for what I can do right now. Let me, yeah, duplicate all of these. I'm gonna merge the colors together, and then I'm gonna take both layers and shrink it down, shrink it down, shrink it down, shrink it down. Okay, then I'm just gonna do like a thumbnail color situation and just get a sense for what I want everything to be, so I won't worry about being precise. I'll just get some color in. I feel like these are gonna have to be like that. What's it called? Terracotta? I don't think that's exactly the right shade for it, but maybe I should give them different colors. Who knows? We've got some dirt in there. Problem with this, I might have made it too small. Okay, out the window, we get some nice blue sky. But let's make this part a little bit bluer. That doesn't really work for what I mean. So like this would be have a little like white overlay basically because you're seeing through the window. So the colors aren't exact there, but that's fine. Then I just color this in like a silvery kind of color. And same for this, same for this. I'll do it for Ariel's phone. I need to get the swatches for her, but I'll just do like a... See, this is what I was afraid of with the yellow, that it would not work with her skin tone. That's okay. This is basically the color of her hair. Okay, I'm gonna get some white for the bubbles. Can maybe add a little blue to it. Probably not that much blue. Not like a little closer to white. I don't know, something like that. I think the shell needs to be something like that. I kind of want to make it that doesn't work. That's not what I want. Maybe I need to do another lighter color here. And then the shell can be purple. Maybe like more of a purple that I would give, because Ariel doesn't have the shell bra. So maybe I'll just use that. But then what color for this sink? Maybe some reddishness. This is terrible. That's not a good match. It's like too saturated. Maybe something like this. Does that balance well with her hair? And then I feel like because we're missing some green and stuff, we'll make the towels green over here. Obviously, any of the toilet paper, we'll just do white. And then maybe even like another green. Oh, what about the mirror? I'm gonna do similar to what I did with the window and just make this a slightly lighter color to match, like it would kind of see the wall that's over here. Or I guess you would also maybe kind of see some of the purple from the shower curtain, like this. So who knows? But and then I need a color for the outside of it. Is there something that I haven't used yet that I can reuse? Maybe like the terracotta color. This ugly ass brown. Okay. I think I need to change this purple though. And maybe just saturate it a little more to kind of match the color of the counter. And then it's like almost close to the shell, but not quite. Then I'm just gonna have to throw in some random colors over here for these boxes. All this stuff, it's fine. It doesn't matter what color it is. Well, it does matter, but it's all going to be kind of mismatched, you know, on that side. So it's okay. Does that look decent? I think so. So now I can merge those so the line art is with it and just say swatches. And then I'm going to take my purple, my new purple, and I'm going to do pretty much exactly what I said before about locking the alpha, and then I just color on top of it. Done. Perfect. Let's do the shower curtain next. I'm going to put that under the bathtub layer. Shower curtain. I want everyone watching to notice how much more focused I am when I don't have to respond to comments. You can feel free to comment though. Let me know what you think. It might not influence what I do. I might not change my mind about it, but I still like to hear your thoughts and consider them. Might have to do another session of this sometime. Because the other thing too is like I've started to do a better job of rendering my drawings on occasion. Like the ones that I was talking about with the environments, the bathroom and the kitchen scenes. I did a lot more work on kind of adding lighting to, I hate when it does this, adding lighting to the overall environment. Let's do the counter next. Oh, we have to color everything on the counter too. So that's the thing, there's so many small little pieces of this drawing. No wonder it took me so long to draw it. And because I hadn't really done any drawing like this, I think, how many sketches did I end up with? 4 sketch layers. That's not too bad. Oh, and then I did parachutes 20 challenge, and then after that I did a series of illustrations for each of Coldplay's albums. So like kind of each illustration was based on the title track for the albums, with a few exceptions, because for one, Viva La Vida or Death and All His Friends has 2 title tracks, Viva La Vida and Death and All His Friends. And then Milo Xyloto has a title track, but it's an instrumental, so there wasn't any lyrics for me to work off of, so I ended up working off of the lyrics for Hurts Like Heaven, which Milo Xyloto goes into. And then for Ghost Stories, technically there's no title track, but there is a song, Ghost Story, which ended up as a B-side for that era. I believe on the A Sky Full of Stars EP, although I have the Target edition of the album, which has the song on it. So I use that song for that. But every other one, Parachutes, A Rush of Blood to the Head, X and Y, A Head Full of Dreams, and Everyday Life. Right? Yeah. It was just the three in the middle. Viva Vida, Milo Salito, and Ghost Stories. But the other ones worked out pretty well. If you want to check that out, you can get it for free on my Patreon. Again, plug my Patreon once more. That link is in the description. Excuse me. Or you can also go to patreon.com/Caraboanimation. Let's do, since I'm here, let's say, what is this? Cabinet color. And grab that. Come up here. What is this? What is this? I mean, you can't see it because this layer is underneath. I've got to fill that in. This is what I'm talking about. When you go back and then you see, especially when you zoom in like this and you're like, oh man, my drawing is so unclean. Like I could have done so much more to clean it up than what I did. So definitely I think I'm not even going to lay down most of the base colors in this stream, let alone getting to things like shadows. Giving it more of an environment, you know. Atmosphere. Food, water, atmosphere. And, oh, no, I want my eraser tool. Thank you. Okay, and then just do glass. Core. Okay, color. Should I do the solid color? Maybe I should put this underneath the cabinet. And I will mask out this actual part. Which honestly, like this, I could probably just use my lasso tool. I probably should. Should I? No, it's fine. I've already started with this. So I'm just gonna keep going. Just gonna keep going. I think that's good. Then I can do this. Nope. Oh yeah, because I'm right. Okay, never mind. I can't select the areas that I've masked. It just goes based off of the original layer, which is fine. I could still do my double color for this, and it'll work. So I should have just done that. Okay, let's go back to the glass color. So I got this. I'm going to turn my opacity on. I'm going to actually delete what I had so far, so that way I can just color over this. I should have used a bigger brush. Okay, and then I'm gonna do this and make the little thing over here like I did before. No, that doesn't look so good yet. Let me get a bigger brush. Yeah. Good enough. I'm like scrolling down way too far. I think my program hates me now. My computer's like, you're starting to add in an awful lot of layers here. Let me close out of this file. Uh-oh. This might be my cue to to stop here. I think my graphics card is a little angry at me. Maybe I can just close out of this and then reopen it. Okay, there we go. All right. We can keep going a little bit longer. Why not do this towel? Towel color. Oh, I didn't wait, did I do a color for the shelves? No, I didn't figure out a color for the shelves. I just did the plants on top. I might need to hide the wall. Oh, that explains why that wasn't looking right. I had the opacity. Like the pressure opacity. What is it called? What do they call it? Nothing. There's no name for it. Pressure opacity thing. You know what I'm talking about. I had the opacity on the brush, but I did not want that. I just want a solid color. Perfecta. Okay. But oops. Whoops. Since I already have this color here too, I may as well, we'll put this up here. Let's say pots. May as well color these in. I'm gonna go a little smaller on the brush. And what color should I make the shelf? White? But don't I have the white for the stool? What color did I do for the stool? Who knows? Yeah, well, like the yellow. So I don't think white will be what I want. I think that I might, let me fill that in a little bit more. I'm gonna do a clip mask here for the dirt. Not that it really matters. I'm not gonna go outside of that color. But I'll just keep them attached, you know? Okay, may as well color the plants next. Look at me, I feel so efficient. I keep thinking like, oh, I'll just stop here. And then I keep going anyway. So let's get, maybe I should have kept my colors separate from that line art, because when it gets that small, the black of the line art starts to mix in with the color that I chose, but it's okay because we don't have to end up with the exact same values. Especially because I'm going to end up, you know, tweaking things and going in and adding shading and stuff like that. It doesn't have to look exactly like the little thumbnail. I just wanted to pick colors that could work overall and figure out what I'm going to do for each one, because otherwise I might end up going through all the little details and then changing things. And, you know, part of the process of drawing is just trust and that you have to let it, you have to sit with it not looking right for a long time and trust that it'll get to where you wanted it to be if you just keep going and not try to fix what you think is wrong, because it might just not be finished yet. That's all. So this way I can just lay down my colors for everything in the big version of the drawing and then see how they all work together, and then see if some things maybe do need to change from here, but you know, then we deal with that as it comes. I'm gonna, yeah, since I'm here, gonna do the toilet paper. Just gonna do that white. I mean, maybe I should give it a slight tint. Because it's kind of bright. Kind of bright for toilet paper. Yeah, just a little. Just a little on the gray side. We just make it look a little bit dull. So what color? Okay, I'm gonna do the stool and the shell next, and then try and figure out the color for the shelves. So let's go back here. Now the stool did kind of like an in-between the, I mean, it's pretty close to the bathtub, but not quite there yet. And then I'll pick up the purple for the shell. I may as well color the shell. At least I'll do that. Just in case I accidentally lose the color itself. Then I can just pick it from right here. I don't have to go back down. Oh no. Let me hide the floor. See, the problem with this though is that you still get an issue because this value is so close to the white now. This is why it helps to work with like a gray background sometimes. I mean, you can still get values that are pretty close to the gray, even if you do like a mid-tone gray. There's always a possibility for you to get a mid-tone value in your color. So but this is so close to the white that I feel like I'm gonna end up with gaps, but that's okay, because then the floor should show that. Like right here is my prediction. That's going to look like a gap. when I turn the floor layer back on. Yeah. Got the gap down there. We've got some overage there. This brush is too small for this part. We can get a nice big size. Okay. Now I'll just color in the shell real quick. Wavy, wavy, wave, 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 wave. Then I think I'll have a lot of the big color blocked off. So I might just end here for today. And then we can come back to this eventually at some point. It's looking pretty good overall. I gotta figure out the color for the rugs too. I didn't do that. That's like a last detail. So what would work for the shelf? Maybe something with this like pinkish color. Because we got the pink, the red, so there can be something up here. No, I didn't want my brush settings. Give me back my color. No. I mean, I don't think that works, does it? I can do darker. You know what? We'll stick with this darker. I'm just gonna do it because I can change the color when it's up there, so it's fine. Shelf color. I'm gonna call it plant shelf because these are the shelves, so I don't want to get those confused. Even though I don't think I will. Better to not even risk it. You guys are hearing, well, I don't know if you're hearing it, but we've got sirens today. We've got loud cars or motorcycles. We've got people blasting their radios. It's just a little bit of everything driving by my house today. That's life for you. It could be worse. It could be more obnoxious. You can hear that. That's a bus. Not bad. I think once I get Ariel's color in, it should look better. But I think I might end this here today. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for watching. Like I mentioned before, well, first of all of my mermaid drawings are also available over on my Patreon. So if you want to download the files, I have the files up there. You can download this file and color this drawing yourself. I also have a coloring page version of the courtyard that you can download and color as well. Those are over on my Patreon, and if you sign up to support me on Patreon, you can also get updates for the other animation stuff that I'm doing. Like I said, I've been working on this little slice of life animation, so I'm posting my progress over on Patreon. I do share regularly. Well, I try to share regularly, but I do share some of that stuff more publicly as well. But I'm posting more behind the scenes and more works in progress over on Patreon more consistently. So definitely feel free to go over there and support me if you're interested in that. And I'll keep you updated on doing another stream of this. Maybe sometime next weekend we can get another hour in. I mean, we've laid a fair amount of the color out. A lot of this is just going to be now more details. So getting, like all of the silver bits in here that I want to color in. We've got to color in Ariel. We got to get the bubbles. We got to get all these little items, which some of them are the same, so that won't be terrible. Got to figure out the rug, and then we'll kind of work to make everything look a little bit more balanced, adding in lights and shadows and stuff like that. So maybe another 1 or 2 streams of this, like an hour-long thing. So you can also follow me on Twitter. It's at Caribou Animation, or you're more likely to see me post about the stream at In a Wooden House. And yeah, but I'll also try to schedule the stream ahead of time too on here, so that way I think it comes up for subscribers. I'm not sure, but anyway, thank you for joining me. And it's been fun. I've missed doing art streams, so maybe I can get back into it a little bit more. I'm starting to run out of games to play during my normal game streaming times, so maybe can take one of those days and switch it over to art streams and do this more often. I do also offer a monthly live stream on Patreon, so one more incentive for you to go over there and at least check it out. I definitely appreciate that. I just saw my viewer count go up. So to the person who just came in here, I'm sorry that I'm about to end this. But stay tuned, because next weekend I'll be back and we'll keep working on this lovely little drawing here. But yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing and following me on Twitter and checking out my Patreon and all that good stuff. And I will see you guys next week. Peace out.